the sixth part of The Birds and the Bees, and it's also, thankfully, the last. MAN 1319. My son, the day comes when your heart reaches out towards woman and you desire a wife. It is well to choose her with prudence, to select carefully, without passion and without lust. Who is the woman who claims the heart of a man, whose love is the sun of his dwelling, in whose pure radiance he delightfully bathes? MAN 1320. She is modest and quiet spoken. Sweet, womanly innocence blooms on her cheek. She is diligent in seeking work, for her hand and foot do not stray from her household. Observe her in the house of her father. Note her ways with care. She takes delight in simple pleasures. Her demands are moderate, and she behaves with decorum. Lewdness is silenced before her glance. She is attired with neatness, and her adornments are not over many. Her voice is low. Gentle decency and mildness of speech are virtues from which she never departs. She walks with prudence on one hand, and chastity on the other. Before her go discretion and decorum. In her eye is the light of love, and her smile is the caress of affection. MAN 1321. Her overwhelming virtue grips the tongues of lewd men, and they are silenced. When the mouth of scandal is abroad, the doors of her ears are closed. Her delight is not in the misfortunes of others, nor does she find pleasure in the retelling of their misdeeds. MAN 1322. Her thoughts are a fountain of purity, and she remains unsullied by the wickedness splashed by others. When she marries, her dwelling becomes a haven of peace for her husband, and a well of wisdom to quench the questing thirst of her children. MAN 1323. Her delight is in the care of her household, and her good management, a joy to her husband. She fashions the thoughts of her children with example, and the words which fall from her mouth are heard with obedience. Withal, her character is strong. Were it not, she could not be as she is. Fortitude and courage are not the least of her qualities. MAN 1324. Oh, joyful the man who calls her wife, and joyful the child who calls her mother. Among all earth's treasures, she is the greatest, and too often the least valued. All of this is great, and I would hope the advice would be offered to both men and women. A woman also should watch the man in his household and realize that how he treats others, or if he treats others one way, but behind the back say something else, it would be wise to realize that is likely how he will behave towards you. Sorrow comes when you think a spouse would never treat you the way he treats others. It's foolish to ignore character flaws when they are so blatant.